Understanding the human brain and why we are the way we are can give you an extra edge and a huge advantage when it comes to Shopify dropshipping. I'm saying this because the majority of people that actually say they're doing Shopify dropshipping, or you see them asking questions in comments, chances are they're unsuccessful. I'm going to say at least 5 to 15% of these people are actually successful, and the rest just have no clue what they're doing. They don't research the right topics, but they're doing the research maybe, but just nothing's clicking. And thank God you clicked on this video, because this video you most likely have to hear if you've done all the technical stuff when it comes to starting a Shopify dropshipping store. You know, you found a winning product, but honestly, you just don't know what's not clicking for you. And you think you need a better insight on your customers in order to convert them, which makes a lot of sense. A majority of the time, most businesses fail because the owner or whoever's running the business doesn't really understand the perspective of the customer and what the customer wants when they go into your store. Now, a lot of this knowledge that I'm about to give you guys in this video is all just pulled from the internet. It's all stuff that I've learned over the past 2 to 3 years that I've actually been doing Shopify dropshipping. So if you've heard some of this information from somewhere, chances are I got it from somewhere or I learned it from somewhere and I just don't remember. And overall, that's how you get better at business. You know what I mean? You gotta learn. By the way, if you guys are new here, please be sure to smash that like button because it really, really helps me out. And also don't forget to subscribe to the channel because I will be uploading weekly videos every Monday that bring you the best Shopify dropshipping knowledge on the market. Now, I will admit that's kind of capped. There's definitely some better YouTubers and Shopify dropshippers out there currently, but I'm putting my time in and I'm making this free video for you. This channel isn't even monetized anymore. I don't make money off you. Did you see an ad in front of this video? Anyways, getting into it, the importance of psychology. Having just basic insight on your consumer base or just the audience that you're trying to target will help you better understand just the overall behaviors, and it'll also allow you to consistently improve upon your marketing, because then you'll start to see little consistencies, right? Like, what are these people looking for? And then you'll be able to test this one thing and, oh, they seem to like that. So then you test this one thing with this one thing that they seem to like, and oh, they really liked this, so this does better. When I am starting my store and I'm starting to get consistent like 10, 20 sales a day, what I'll start to do for a 7-day period over the next 3 weeks is test between red add to cart buttons, blue add to cart buttons, and green add to cart buttons. And that's just a very, very small example on the broad spectrum of things that you can actually test. Overall, you just really cannot expect to sell your customer if you don't understand what they're looking for. It's kind of obvious, but people don't seem to understand this. I'll see a young male student try and advertise a product to a pregnant woman, and unless they've done extensive research, I guarantee you a young teenage male does not understand a pregnant woman's mindset or what goes through her head on a daily basis. I mean, me, I don't understand it either, you know what I mean? You can use this type of psychology when you're starting right from the get-go, from step 0. By creating a more reactive and engaging offer to your audience, people will be more willing to engage with you, and obviously they'll pay way more attention to your brand, and chances are eventually, if you keep retargeting them, you will convert them if your ad and brand is presented to them in a very, very professional way. You have to understand that humans are a result of direct programming, and I don't mean like someone literally like, you know, took a computer chip and started to program us. What I mean is based on the experiences that we've all experienced, we're all different. We all started as a baby, and eventually all those experiences that we sort of had over our lifespan took over and made us into who we are today. So say if you had an alcoholic father, chances are you're a lot different than someone with a completely wholesome family who doesn't do drugs. You have to understand that humans are born to adapt. So when we are born, we're taught and programmed naturally, just instinctively, to act a certain way based on the environment around us. And from there, we start to assimilate and we start to adapt to the environment and, you know, start to get in the flow of things. A large majority of people are just completely unaware of this, and it's kind of sad to say that a lot of people don't even understand the fact and complexity of their consciousness and what they can do with it. This leaves a lot of people with the lack of the ability to form original opinions and ideas for themselves, and essentially turns them into sheeple. People will see things happening in the world, and then they'll take it in, they'll process the information, and they'll start acting a certain way. The brain will start responding to the stimuli of the outside world. And many people don't even know that this is happening. They don't even know that this whole second subconscious of how they're acting and how they're constantly improving every day is even happening. You can affect the way that people in your specific niche or audience act by tailoring your offer to cause a reaction. You have to think of something game breaking. Think of clickbait on YouTube. Chances are you probably think this video is clickbait, which it probably is. My red arrows and my saturation got you to click on this video. So therefore, my marketing tactic gave you a reaction to click on my video. Hopefully you understand that. Another thing that many individuals don't consider is that they need to sell a feeling or a solution to their audience. Think of when you walk into a coffee shop, right? There's a certain sort of vibe going on there. You know, it smells like coffee, and then you have some memories that, you know, sort of flood back from the last time you might have been at a coffee place or something. Or think of like when you're at like a Toys R Us or, you know, a toy aisle in a store. It's like kid heaven, like all the memories from when you were a kid come flooding back to you. And there's actually two main reasons that people or someone may be willing to buy your product. Number one, your product is most likely attributed to a feeling. So think Louis Vuitton, think luxury, think high-end, think, oh, I'm so great, I have a Louis Vuitton purse. That's basically what getting a Louis Vuitton purse is. It's a call for attention in a sense. It makes him or her happy to own that product and get that attention. And they associate that positive feeling with the product. So therefore, owning a Louis Vuitton backpack now holds value to that consumer. Or number two, the product is most likely a solution to a specific problem that many people experience per day. For example, people will buy an OxyClean product because it's trustworthy, and also it does the job. It solves the problem. It cleans the dirt. That is where the value is seen within that product. That is what makes that product worth the money. If you're able to find a product based on both of these reasons, then you're golden. Lastly, people will justify purchasing an expensive or just overall even a cheap product with logic. But at first, they'll look at it emotionally and say, oh my God, I want that. Typically, when you see a new hot pair of sunglasses, you're like, oh my God, they're so cool. It's the new trend. I need them. That's your emotions talking, dude, straight up. Then you'll try and justify it with, oh my God, it's cheap. It saves my eyes from the sun. So we're going to step away from sunglasses, and I'm actually going to use the Apple iPhone as an example. So the emotional side's the Apple iPhone X, or actually, I guess 11 Plus. I don't know which generation they're on now. But emotionally, it's the new hot thing, you know, they want it. It's the new trend. It has that new cool camera that does that cool thing where it sort of like makes it look like a hallway. But people generally want the phone because number one, it's cool. Number two, everyone has it. Number three, Apple builds hype. Number four, their product isn't that bad compared to the rest out there. And that's the logic behind why I actually bought an iPhone. So I'm kind of justifying it with my logic. Emotionally, yeah, I wanted an iPhone because it was cool. Like these things do look pretty cool. They're sleek, you know? But essentially owning an iPhone X in this customer's eyes at first will make them happy, and they'll fit in with the majority. But after purchasing, due to the emotions associated with, say, the brand new iPhone X, let's call it the brand new one, the customer will logically sort of justify their decision. They'll think about the brand new features that are so super cool, like when the finger touch came out, and then when the Face ID came out, and now like the camera's cool and it sort of zooms out, and it's also really good at taking pictures at night. I use an iPhone because I have all my business stuff from like the past 5 years that I've been, you know, doing stuff online. This firmware, iOS, so I just keep it iOS. But it all depends on who you are and your experiences. But anyways, enough of just overall talking. The video's over. I'm sorry. So drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed. Please be sure to stay tuned for the next video.